Victoria Police has criticised the Catholic Church for not referring sexual abuse cases for criminal investigation. The church says many victims don't want to go to police and it's dealt with hundreds of abuse complaints internally. But now there are calls for a royal commission into sexual abuse in the church. Hamish Fitzsimmons reports from Melbourne.
Police say the church could do better in referring sex crimes for criminal investigation.
It's not fair to say that they have been holding things back in terms of things we've asked for, but we believe there's also an onus on the church when they see matters to let us know about them rather than wait for victims to come directly to us.
I want to make it emphatically clear that the investigation of crimes is a matter for the police. All crimes should be investigated by the police. That is their role.
The Catholic Church says it's upheld almost 310 complaints about abuse through its official mechanism called the Melbourne Response. An independent commissioner decides whether complaints should be dismissed or counselling or compensation should be provided.
When victims come to us, we invite them through the independent commissioner of their right to go to the police. We encourage them to do so, and if they ask for help, we facilitate that.
And more pressure is building for an inquiry into scores of suicides blamed on sexual abuse by jailed pedophiles Father Gerald Francis Ridsdale and Brother Robert Charles Best, from people like Stephen Woods, who was raped by the men while at school in Ballarat.
The healing, the incredible healing, needs to start, and the government needs to show authority and it needs to show leadership in this area.
The Victoria Police says it's preparing a brief for a wide-ranging coronial inquest.
Basically recommending in that report that the coroner examine the broader nature of those suicides and their relevance in relation to the Catholic Church.
But there may be far more suicides than those centred on Ballarat's abusers.
In Gardenvale, I have reports of another cluster of suicides at this stage. There's another parish that I haven't yet commenced interviews, and I'm hearing reports of more suicides in another parish as well. So it's early days in terms of the research.
Abuse survivors say priests found by the church to be sexually abusing were often moved to another parish, so more suicides are unsurprising.
Having them being shifted around Victoria and Australia and overseas, as soon as any problems come up, I'm not surprised that that there are clusters, there are areas that are just prone to so many people suiciding.
In February, a report by retired Judge Philip Cummins called for mandatory reporting of sexual abuse allegations and an independent inquiry into sexual abuse by religious organisations, one that could compel witnesses to give evidence and demand documents.
These documents relate to very serious crimes, sexual crimes, and they should not be being dealt with by the church. The church cannot investigate itself in that sense.
Victoria's government says a response to the Cummins inquiry is imminent.
The Cummins report recommended, amongst its many recommendations, a further investigation of these matters. The government has that on the agenda at the moment. The Attorney-General is looking at all of those options, and I'm not going to preempt an announcement on that.
If the government chooses to have an inquiry, we will cooperate fully, and I believe that in such an inquiry, what we've done in Melbourne and the value of what we've attempted to do will be strongly recognised.
Hamish Fitzsimmons, Late Line.